Well, joining me now is a man who's well qualified to give us a First Nations perspective on these changes, a man who's been steeped in politics, having served as president of the Federal Australian Labor Party, also having run for the other side of politics in the marginal seat of Gilmore, and very familiar to viewers of Sky News, Warren Mundine. Warren, what's your reaction to these changes that were announced today?
Oh, look, I go with Cathy Freeman. It was incredible. It was really a great move by the Prime Minister. You know, we've been talking about this for a while. I'm very protective of the Constitution and the national anthem, and I thought this was a right move. You know, I didn't have too many problems with the last wording of young and free, but I think what the Prime Minister has done is, in this stroke of the pen, has brought us closer together and made us more unified as a nation. Like, it's one nation, it's one people. We've got many diverse groups, as the Prime Minister said, over 300 Indigenous groups, Torres Strait Islanders and Aboriginals, and you've got the hundreds of different migrant and groups that have come to this country, different faiths, atheists, and all different cultures, and that are building this incredible, great country that we call Australia. It is one of the freest, most successful multicultural countries in the entire world. You know, I beg to disagree with my American friends because I say that we are probably the greatest country in the world because of what we are attempting to do and what we are doing in bringing this nation together and building an incredible, free and democratic and multicultural country.
Warren, you've been a strong voice, along with Noel Pearson and some others, for very practical reconciliation, and you've also been sceptical of symbolic gestures at the expense of helping people find work, to get off welfare, to deal with domestic violence and substance abuse problems, especially in remote communities. And like Jacinta Price, you don't look for the easy applause and the soft options. But having said that, you still think this is a positive. What do you make of the criticisms? I just can't see why people can get arced up in anger about this and let the perfect be the enemy of the good. Like, is this not at least a start?
Well, look, symbolism is important, but it's not the panacea. It's not the thing that's going to correct the ills and solve the issues. We still need to go through those processes. You know, we look at the violence and economic disparities and educational disparities between Indigenous and the wider Australian community. Sure, we've still got to focus on them and get them done. And yes, you know, symbolism doesn't answer all those questions. But this one is quite interesting because it actually, I believe this has come from a people's movement, the Australian people. You saw what happened in the National Rugby League. Well, they tried to stop having the national anthem sung at the state of origin, and they got smashed. The Australian public and the rugby league fans come out there and smashed them and said, no, we want our national anthem to be sung. We want it is us, it is our country. And you saw, you know, that Aboriginal woman here, just seeing on the screen now, she sung that song in English, and she sung it in the Darug Eora language of Sydney. And look at those rugby players. Look at the passion in that. And you look at the passion of these people, and the fans really got onto it, and they just loved it all, and it's made it so much powerful, that national anthem. And this focus here, even though I didn't have a problem with young and free, but the way the Prime Minister has, you know, put it in about this unity, that we are one, we are one, but we recognise our migrants and our Indigenous people and the British institutions and everything that we have here, and how we're not perfect. No human beings are perfect, but I tell you what, I challenge anyone to come up with a nation that is better than ours. And you're right about that. Look, we're always going to have whingers. We always have whingers, and we always have people who are not happy. But in this case, I say they're the minority on both sides, whether they like the change or they don't like the change. They're a minority of a very tiny minority. And the vast majority of Australians want to get on, want to work together and keep on driving this nation forward to do good and become stronger.
And Warren, what would you say to Anthony Mundine? Like, calling it white supremacist, that was pretty provocative. And young Latrell Mitchell, good footballer, I got a lot of time for him as a player, but strikes me now that if they don't want to sing the national anthem, don't wear the national jumper. Is that a fair assessment?
Look, we're free, as I said, we're a free and liberal democracy. We're one of the freest in the world. We're a shining example about democratic institutions and free speech. People are entitled to their views, and we're entitled to disagree with their views. And so, look, I think they're barking up the wrong tree. I think history will show that they were wrong, and that the vast majority of Australians, the 99.9% of Australians who just want to get on, build a great nation, look after each other, take care of each other. We saw that in the bushfires just recently, about how the dreadful thing that happened to our communities across the east coast of Australia, and all Australians come together, black, white, green, pink, purple, whatever they are, Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, atheists, and whatever. They all come together to help those communities, and still are helping those communities. The drought, the incredible drought that we have, and still in some parts of Australia still have, and how Australians come together for that. This is what the national anthem represents. It's about coming together. It's about not division. It's about unity. And the words that the Prime Minister spoke very eloquently in the announcement really brought that home. And I tell you, when I saw that rugby game, and I heard that singing, and I heard that young lady singing in the Indigenous language and English, the hairs on the back of my head stood up. I just so passionate. It reached right into my soul, and I was so proud to be an Australian. The rugby players could have did a little bit better, but anyway, that's sport. But it is a positive start to the year, because we've got a big challenge this year, like recovering from 2020 in the last 18 months to 2 years, and we go to the drought and the bushfires. And we've got to get our economy back on. And I think he's done it in the right way and unite us.
Well, thanks for your time, Warren. That's a great perspective, and thanks for making time on New Year. Enjoy your family time, and all the best for 2021. Thanks
a lot, and it's really great to catch up to you with Kate. It's wonderful to see you on the TV, and you're I'm very proud to know and honoured to know you.
That's both ends. Thanks. All the best, Warren.
Thank you.